Hi everyone, a very good afternoon. This is Dr. Anamta Rizvi and today we are going ahead with a very important lesson. I am your educator for UGC NET English Literature and Study IQ और आज हम लोग विक्टोरियन पोइट्री के बारे में बात करेंगे. अभी तक हम लोगों ने रोमांटिक पोइट्री के बारे में बात करी, उससे पहले भी टॉक्ड अबाउट द रेस्टोरेशन पोइट्री. टुडे आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द विक्टोरियन पोइट्री. यहाँ पे हम लोग एक शॉर्ट समरी डिस्कस करेंगे. यू विल बी लर्निंग विद अ लॉट ऑफ पिक्चर्स एंड ओपनिंग एंड एंडिंग लाइन्स. Guys, UGC का बहुत फेवरेट क्वेश्चंस रहते हैं ओपनिंग एंड एंडिंग लाइंस बिकॉज दे आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट लाइंस. कोई भी टेक्स्ट के लिए, कोई भी, चाहे वो नॉवल हो, चाहे वो पोइट्री हो, ड्रामा हो और या प्रोज हो, तो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट जितनी भी इंपॉर्टेंट पोएम्स हैं उनको हम बिल्कुल भी इग्नोर ना करें, उनको साथ में पढ़ें. एंड उसके साथ साथ आई एम नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग कि आप पूरी पूरी पोएम याद करिए, लेकिन येस, first 2 to 3 lines or the last 2 to 3 lines are very important for any text. Okay, so today we are going ahead with that. Before that, please let me know in the comment section if I'm audible, visible. Hi Saurav, a very good afternoon. Okay, so I'm audible. Hi Fatima, I'm not audible. Is it? Just a second, let me check. Can you guys hear me? I am audible. Is it? Saurav, hi Shivani, can you hear me? Okay, I'm audible. Saurav is saying I'm audible. Shivani, am I audible? Please let me know in the comment section, please. I'll proceed only once students tell me that everything is good technically. Great. Okay, so Fatima, can you please check the mic? Maybe there's some problem with the sound at your end. I request you to please check it. I'll go ahead with it. All right, so guys, talking about the Victorian poetry, we'll be talking about the most important poets that kon hai. We had Tennyson, we had Robert Browning, we had Matthew Arnold, D.J. Rossetti, and some other poets that we'll be discussing. All right, so with that note, all right, okay, a very good afternoon to everyone. Again, Victorian poetry. So guys, UGC NET December के लिए जो भी students prepare कर रहे हैं, I'm going with a very comprehensive course. पूरा detail में all the units will be covering. For 5999, you are getting paper 1 as well as paper 2. Paper 2 is completely taken care of by me. Everything I will be teaching you. So stay rest assured कि जो भी हम लोग पढ़ रहेंगे, they are very relevant. That will come in the exam for sure. Okay, so you can go ahead with the course. Whoever is serious about their exam. So guys, I am Dr. Anamta Rizvi. I did my PhD from JMI, that is Jamia Millia Islamia, qualified my JRF, and you can follow me on the Telegram channel, that is Dr. Anamta Rizvi English Literature. Victorian poetry. Just let's quickly come to the first very important aspect. Victorian poetry was different from you can say the Romantic era, because अब यहाँ पे the focus was on the individual more. All right, जैसे इसकी थीम थोड़ी सी ग्रिम थी, डल थी, डार्क थी, बिकॉज गाइज ये एक टाइम था जहाँ पे इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन आ रहा था, साइंटिफिक रेवोल्यूशंस आ रहे थे, द ग्राउंड ऑफ द रिलीजन, द ग्राउंड ऑफ द क्रिश्चियनिटी वाज शेकिंग. People were kind of questioning and not questioning, believing in God and not believing in God. So things were very, very different from जो romantic era था, a very idealistic era romantic poetry was. So now we are going ahead with this. All right, okay. So guys, going ahead. The Lady of Shalott, or Shalott, कोई Shalott भी कहते हैं, but I will say Shalott. The Lady of Shalott by Alfred Lord Tennyson, 1809 to 1892. I always tell my students that yes, the dates are very important of the birth and death year of the poets, because ये आपके एग्जाम में बहुत chronology आने लगी है. Written in 1832. The Lady of Shalott, ये Shalott है. The Lady of Shalott, यहाँ पे she lives in a tower on the island of Shalott near Camelot. ये कहानी यहीं से शुरू होती है कि एक लड़की है, लेडी है, उसकी कहानी यहाँ से शुरू होती है. She is under a curse that prevents her from looking directly at the world. She can only see it through a mirror. उसको एक कर्स मिला है कि वो डायरेक्टली नहीं देख सकती है दुनिया को, वो उसको दुनिया को देखना होगा एक मिरर के थ्रू. ओके, शी स्पेंड्स हर डेज वेविंग अ टिपेस्ट्री. वो क्या बना रही है? व्हाट डज शी वेव? शी इज वेविंग अ टिपेस्ट्री. टिपेस्ट्री क्या होती है? जैसे पेंटिंग होती है, पेंटिंग को हम लोग कलर से पेंट करते हैं, टिपेस्ट्री को हम लोग धागे से, थ्रेड से वीव करते हैं. Okay, you might have seen in museums or in big old palaces, houses, जहाँ पे टिपेस्ट्री होती थी. कोई भी पिक्चर को, और ज़्यादातर टेपेस्ट्री ना बिब्लिकल फिगर से रिलेटेड होती है, जैसे लास्ट सपर होता है या डूम्सडे होता है, इस तरह के बिब्लिकल फिगर से बहुत एसोसिएटेड होती है टेपेस्ट्री, उनको थ्रेड से वीव किया जाता है, पेंट नहीं किया जाता इमेजेस को. So she spends her days weaving a tapestry based on the reflections in the mirror, capturing the scenes of everyday life. One day she sees Sir Lancelot. Okay, Lancelot आते हैं, riding by on his horse. Okay, with his armor shining in the sun. Okay, so there is this person who is coming. All right, all right. Okay, so one day she sees Sir Lancelot riding by on his horse with his armor shining in the sun, captivated by Lancelot. Now this girl who is in distress, who बहुत परेशान है क्योंकि वो बस दुनिया को मिरर से देख लेती है, एक बार एक देखते एक knight आ रहा है, एक knight in very powerful good armor, Sir Lancelot. Captivated by Lancelot, she turns away from the mirror to look at him, directly triggering the curse. The mirror cracks and the lady knows she is doomed. Okay, so she captivated, she is very impressed by Lancelot when she sees, और वो एकदम से पीछे मुड़ के देख लेती है और mirror crash हो जाता है. Okay, so the mirror cracks and the lady knows she is doomed. She leaves the tower, finds a boat and sets out down the river towards Camelot, writing her name on the side. तो ये कहाँ जा रही है? इसको पता है कि इसका खत्म होने वाले, because इसका जो जिसके थ्रू, जिस mirror के through she was looking at the world, that is over, that has destroyed. As she drifts along, she sings a sad song until she dies in the boat. Okay, so this is the end of the girl. Her body arrives in Camelot, where the townspeople and Sir Lancelot find her. Lancelot admire करते हैं, end में beauty कहते हैं. She has a lovely face. Okay, so this is Lady of Shalott by Alfred Lord Tennyson, 1832 में लिखा गया है. इसके opening क्या lines हैं? On either side the river lie, long fields of barley and of rye, that cloth the wood, the world and meet the sky, and through the field the road runs by. A very nice rhyming lines. ये Lady of Shalott की lines हैं guys, very important poem. बहुत सारी universities इसको पढ़ाती हैं. Syllabus में जो poems होती हैं, कोई भी university के, central university के, state university के, वो बहुत important है. Okay, so ending lines, who is this and what is here? And in the lighted palace near, died the sound of royal cheer, and they crossed themselves for fear. And end में आता है, God in his mercy lend her grace, the Lady of Shalott. There is no name of the Lady of Shalott. Okay, इसको यही बोला जाता है. Now we are moving ahead to the next one. All right, so this is Ulysses. Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson, that is 1809 to 1892. This is written in 1842. Ulysses, one of the most important poems. Please do not enter your examinations hall without studying this poem. Ulysses, Lord Alfred Tennyson की, Lord Alfred Tennyson poet laureate भी रह चुके हैं, which makes him very very important. Ulysses किसने और लिखे? जेम्स जॉयस ने भी यूलिसेस पे लिखा है. रिमेंबर, उसने नॉवल लिखी है, इन्हीं ने क्या लिखा है? बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पोएम. नाउ यूलिसेस द लेजेंडरी ग्रीक हीरो. लुक एट दिस, ये एक लेजेंडरी ग्रीक हीरो है. एंड द किंग ऑफ इथाका, ये रिफ्लेक्ट करता है ऑन हिज लाइफ आफ्टर रिटर्निंग फ्रॉम द ट्रोजन वॉर. तो ट्रोजन वॉर पे यूलिसेस बेस्ड एक ग्रीक हीरो है. He is very restless, he is very dissatisfied with his life, feeling that his जो भी उसको जो घर की, because ये वॉर से लड़के आया है, अब डोमेस्टिक ड्यूटीज में, घर के कामों में ये बंद गया, तो ही इज फीलिंग वेरी वेरी क्लॉस्ट्रोफोबिक. मतलब ही इज नॉट फीलिंग कि उसको एक लिबर्टी नहीं मिल रही है. यूलिसेस लॉन्ग्स फॉर द एडवेंचर्स, उसको वही वॉर वाले एडवेंचर्स चाहिए, एंड ग्लोरी ऑफ हिज पास्ट जर्नीज जो उसने, बिकॉज यू नो वंस यू विन द वॉर इट इज वेरी ग्लोरियस, इट इज वेरी विक्टोरियस, इट इज वेरी ब्रेव. So expressing frustration at being idle while there is so much of the world left to explore. He's like, what am I doing here? There's so much left to explore. He acknowledges his aging. He is aging. He is becoming old. Yet he remains determined to live life to the fullest. But he wants to live के मुझे जीना है. I'm getting old, but I want to live life to the fullest. Ulysses decides to leave Ithaca, entrusting the kingdom to his son. So वो कहता है कि अपने sons को कहता है, Ithaca is in your custody. You take care, my sons, you take care of Ithaca, and I'm going. Telemachus, who is better suited to be a ruler. Okay, कौन है इसका son? Telemachus को देता है. He gathered his old companion. Now he's old. So जितने भी इसके companions होते हैं जो Trojan War में इसके साथ गए थे, उनको gather करता है, inspires them to set sail once more, seeking new horizons and the unknown. The poem concludes with the Ulysses' bold declaration to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Very, very strong lines that were by, all right, that were by Ulysses. The last lines, so क्या है इनका? It little profits that an idle king By this still hearth, among these barren crags, mashed with an aged wife, I meet and dole unequal laws unto a savage race. Opening lines ye hain, end ki lines you can see, made weak by time and weight, but strong in will. Look at the hope in these lines. Look at the inspiration in these lines. Okay, made weak by time, मतलब वक्त ने मुझे एज कर दिया है, मुझे वीक कर दिया है, but still I have a lot to do in life, but strong in will. But जो determination है, will है, वो बहुत strong है. To strive मतलब कोशिश करना, to seek मतलब कुछ चीज ढूंढना, and to find and then उसको मिल जाना, पा लेना, and not to yield and not to give up in life. Okay, very strong motivating lines. All right, moving ahead to the next. This was Ulysses. Moving ahead to the next one, In Memoriam by Alfred Tennyson, that is Arthur Henry Hallam के लिए लिखा गया था. Arthur Henry Hallam इनके बहुत अच्छे दोस्त थे जो 1833 में because of unfortunate and untimely death he died. Okay, he wasn't there. 1850 में in Memoriam लिखा था. It got very famous. Okay, so In Memoriam by Alfred Lord Tennyson published in 1850. The poem एक elegy है, एक sad poem है. Elegy जब कोई मर जाता है या कोई loss होता है तो उस पे जो पोएम लिखते हैं वो एलिजी होती है. एलिजी और किसने लिखी है? शेली ने एडोनाइस लिखी है कीट्स के लिए, रिमेंबर, और एडवर्ड किंग के लिए मैथ्यू आर्नल्ड ने थीसिस लिखी थी. टेनिसन ने कौन सी लिखी है? इन मेमोरियम आर्थर हेनरी हैलम के लिए लिखी है. तो एलिजी बहुत लोग, मिल्टन एलिसिडस लिखी है अपने दोस्त के लिए. ओके, एंड इसी तरह से थीसिस वाज रिटन, we'll just check it out. And Milton ने जो Lycidas लिखा था, that was for Edward King, and that was a very sad poem. तो जितनी भी elegies लिखी गई हैं, all are important. Make a note कि किस poet ने कौन सी elegy लिखी और किसके लिए लिखी है. It is important for the exam. All right. So going ahead with this poem is an elegy written in the memory of Tennyson's very close friend Arthur Henry Hallam, who died very suddenly at the age of 22. It's a long poem, lyrical poem, exploring Tennyson's journey, grief का, loss का, कि कितना वो miss करते हैं, how much he used to admire him. Tennyson struggles with profound sadness and questions about life, death, and the faith in God. This is a very quintessential poem, guys. Faith in God वो dwindle करने लगा था Victorian era में. क्यों? क्योंकि science को बहुत ज़्यादा leverage मिल रहा था. Science आ रहा था तो people were questioning the existence of God. Okay, the things जो कि एकदम grand narratives थे, जो truth थे, वो dismantle होते. जैसे कि चार्ल्स डार्विन की Origin of Species आई थी 1859 में. उसने क्या बताया था कि जो ह्यूमन बीइंग्स हैं वो सेपियंस, जो होमो सेपियंस है वो एप से आए हैं, एप का एवोल्यूशन हुआ, एंड दिस इज द रीजन वी आर हियर. और बिब्लिकल स्टोरीज है, जो मोनोथीस्टिक रिलीजन्स होते हैं वो क्या कहते थे? वो कहते हैं कि एडम और ईव, रिमेंबर. सो दीज ऑल थिंग्स आर वेरी ह्यूज. आज के टाइम में आफ्टर 200 years ऑल दीज थिंग्स सीम नॉर्मल टू अस, बट जब ये सब रेवलेशंस हुए थे तब ये नहीं था, ये इतना नॉर्मल नहीं था. ओके, सो देयर वाज डिसबिलीफ, or not disbelief, but yes, challenging, questioning the God. Okay, so the poem reflects the Victorian crisis of faith as Tennyson grapples with the implication of Hallam's death for human existence and the universe. So he's very deeply saddened and he's questioning his death. Tennyson ultimately arrives at a sense of acceptance and renewed hope, finding consolation in the thought that love and the human spirit endure beyond death. So he's saying that at the end you'd have nothing to do but accept death. So ये poem जब आई थी तो Queen Victoria भी was very impressed because at that time he had lost his husband. तो ये poem बहुत पढ़ती थी because बड़ा सुकून देता था, सुलेस देता था. Why? Because you know, at the end you have to accept death and you have to move on and say that जो love होता है हमारे जिंदगी में, that makes us move in life. It concludes with a hopeful note embracing the idea that life and love continue to evolve, symbolized by the hopeful message of a new year. All right, this is how the poem ends. And opening line क्या है इसकी? Strong son of God, immortal love, whom we that have not seen die. Strong son of God, talking about Arthur Henry Hallam. Easy to remember the first line. By faith and faith alone embrace, believing where we cannot prove. Faith, the very questioning of faith comes here. That God which ever lives and loves, one God, one law, one element, and one far off divine event to which the whole creation moves. यहाँ पे poetry क्या करे? Poetry is playing the role of re-establishing or reinstating the faith in God. Tennyson was like that, no matter science कुछ भी कहे, there is God up there ruling us, looking after. These are very positive lines by Tennyson. Okay, so this is In Memoriam, there is that we are talking about. So next we are going ahead with, this is Arthur Henry Hallam. You can look at this. In Memoriam इनके लिए लिखा गया था. Fra Lippo Lippi by Robert Browning. Robert Browning की poems Pipa Passes, Fra Lippo Lippi, Andrea Delato, all these are important. We'll be discussing all of them today. So this is कौन है Fra Lippo Lippi? Written in 1855. The poem एक dramatic monologue है by Fra Lippo Lippi, a 15th century Italian painter and monk. You can look at this. ये Fra Lippo Lippi में उसका profession क्या है? Question आ सकता है exam में. Painter है और monk है. Monk, somebody who is related with religion. Excuse me, guys. I'll just sip some water. I'm just shouting a lot, I guess. All right. Fra Lippo Lippi by Robert Browning, dramatic monologue by Fra Lippo Lippi, a 15th century Italian painter and monk. So, कौन है Italian painter and monk? Remember Robert Browning और Elizabeth Barrett Browning? शादी क्या इंग्लैंड में भाग गए थे इटली. ओके, तो इटली में दे लिव्ड अ लॉन्ग लाइफ. दिस इज द रीजन कि इटली से उनका वर्क बड़ा इंस्पायर्ड है. ऑल राइट, सो देन यू हैव a 15th century Italian painter and monk. It starts with Lippo being caught by the night watchman in Florence after sneaking out from the monastery. Okay, so over here he is the painter, or he is the painter, you can decide whoever you like. Okay, so it starts with Lippo. Lippo क्या होता है, वो जा रहा होता है monastery से, and he's caught by a watchman in Florence. Lippo shares his orphan past and how he joined the monastery as a means of survival. Lippo share करता है कि वो orphan था, उसने क्यों monastery join की, because he had no food, he had no place to live, he wanted to survive this world. Okay, so he became a painter, preferring realistic art that shows the details of life. He faces conflict with the church. Church के साथ वो conflict face करता है, which wants spiritual idealized art, while Lippo believes art should depict reality, including human emotions and the earthly world. Now, can you see the contradiction between, again, you would see the challenging God in some way or the other. क्यों? क्योंकि monastery क्या कह रही है, monks सब क्या कह रहे हैं कि no, एक ऐसा बनाओ जहाँ पे दुनिया बिल्कुल अच्छी लगे, आइडलाइज लगे, कोई दुख ना लो, लेकिन Fra Lippo Lippi says, no, I want to depict reality. Again, he's challenging the God, because life is not so easy for a lot of ordinary men. Okay, so he faces conflict with the church, and the poem ends with Lippo's defiance. मतलब उसको करना है, उसको reality दिखाना है, real चीज दिखाना है, उसको idealized beauty नहीं दिखाना है. Determined to paint both the sacred and the secular. So like, I will paint the sacred and the secular. Again, there is reconciliation of science as well as modernity, as the Victorian beliefs. Remember these things. All these Victorian poems at the end reconcile कर रही हैं that yes, science and life and the real world can go together. Okay, so this is something that is there. Next you have is इसकी opening lines क्या? I am poor brother Lippo, by your leave. You need not clap your torches to my face. Zooks, what's to blame? You think you see a monk? Okay, तो यहीं पे Lippo को पकड़ लिया जाता है. Rub all out, well, there's my life and the world, my world, at least for me. So take and use thy work, amend who may. मतलब सुधारो जिसको सुधारना है, amend who may. All right. Next you have is Pipa Passes by Robert Browning. It's a very lovely poem. 1841 में लिखा गया था. The poem एक verse drama है. तो Pipa Passes क्या है? Robert Browning का एक verse drama है. And it follows Pipa, a poor silk winding girl from Osolo. ये Pipa है. A poor silk winding. जो silk बनाते थे, silk जो the cloth that is there. Silk winding girl from Osolo, Italy. Again Italy. Robert Browning बहुत Italy में रहा है. During New Year's Day, which is her only one day off that she gets. So ये इसमें बड़े questions बन सकते हैं कि Pipa Passes में कौन से day पे था, New Year's Day पे वो celebrate कर रही है. Pipa decides to spend her holiday. Only one day off she has got, New Year's. Her holiday walking through the town. Okay, this is the girl. She's walking through the town. She's singing songs that reflect an innocent and optimistic outlook towards life. What a sad story. वो पूरे साल काम करती है, एक दिन छुट्टी मिलती है, and she's singing a song. She's roaming around in the town. जैसे वो गाती है, her unseen presence unknowingly impacts the lives of several troubled characters in the town. जब जैसी वो गाती है, she has such a beautiful voice. जैसी वो गाती है, तो जितने लोग होते हैं जिनकी troubled life होती है, all these people, can you see, ordinary people, common people, troubled lives in जिनकी होती है, when they listen to Pipa, they are very happy. Okay, so this impact their life जब Pipa गाती है, including Sibal and Otima, lovers who have committed murder, Jules and Fiend, a newly married couple with conflicting intentions, Luigi, a young patriot contemplating an assassination, the bishop dealing with his corrupt brother. So guys, ये सारे के सारे कैरेक्टर्स आते हैं पिपा पासेस में. पिपा का जो सॉन्ग होता है वो ब्रिंग्स अनएक्सपेक्टेड मोमेंट्स ऑफ मॉरल क्लैरिटी, लीडिंग द कैरेक्टर्स टू रिकंसिडर एक्शंस एंड चॉइसेस. तो पिपा का जो सिग्निफिकेंस है वो बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग आ जाता है वन शी सिंग्स द सॉन्ग. पूरे साल काम करती है, नोबडी नोटिसेस हर, बट वन डे शी गेट्स अप एंड शी, उसका हॉलीडे है, वो गा रही है एंड शी इम्पैक्ट सो मेनी लाइव्स. ओके, द पोएम एंड्स विद पिपा रिटर्निंग होम अनअवेयर. शी डजंट इवन नो कि उसने क्या पॉजिटिव इन्फ्लुएंस डाला है. And look at this again, a very Victorian poem. क्या बोलता है? God is in heaven and all's right with the world. ये बड़ी अच्छी poem है और again ये वही reinstate कर रहा है that जो questioning हो रही है God पे, don't question. Science अपनी जगह है, God is on his position, so God is in heaven and everything is right in the world. All right. So over here, faster and more fast over night's brim, day boils at last. Boils pure gold over the cold club's brim, where spurting and suppress it lay, and Enki lines him, with God whose purpose best and worst are we, there is no last nor first, God is in heaven and everything is right in the world. Okay, that is Pipa Passes. Okay, that's another picture wherein the girl is singing and all the characters are listening to her. Then you have is Andrea Delato by Robert Browning, another a very important poem. All right, so रॉबर्ट 1855 में पब्लिश हुआ है. द पोएम अगेन अ ड्रामेटिक मोनोलॉग स्पोकन, किसके बारे में? स्पोकन बाय एंड्रिया डेल साटो, अ रियल लाइफ इटालियन रेनेसा पेंटर. रियल लाइफ पे बेस्ड है, अगेन इटालियन रेनेसा पेंटर. यू कैन सी द इटली, द अमाउंट ऑफ इटली रॉबर्ट ब्राउनिंग जो अपने वर्क्स में लाते हैं. known as a faultless painter. तो एंड्रिया डेल साटो इज ऑल्सो नोन एज अ faultless painter, जिसने कभी कोई गलती की ही नहीं अपने वर्क में. एंड्रिया स्पीक्स टू हिज वाइफ लुक्रेजिया, lamenting his unfulfilled potential as an artist. Okay, so he says that मेरा अंदर और potential है, मैं चाहे मैं faultless हूँ लेकिन but I know कि मेरे अंदर और potential है. He reflects on his life and career and he acknowledges his technical skill but regretting his lack of inspiration and creative ambition. He says that I lack creative ambition, I need to have that more. He blames part of his failure on Lucrezia's demands and his own willingness to sacrifice his art for approval. So he says that Lucrezia, because of your so many demands, I'm not able to focus on my art. Okay, so what is Andrea Del Sarto is blaming the wife. Okay, so Andrea contrasts himself with other artists like Michelangelo, Raphael. तो ये भी आता है एग्जाम में कि कौन कौन से और आर्टिस्ट का मेंशन होता है, and that is Michelangelo, Raphael, who reached greater artistic heights. He's torn between his love for Lucrezia and his desire to truly great art. The poem ends with Andrea's resignation as he accepts his limitation and continues to focus on Lucrezia despite knowing he could have been more. Okay, so he at the end he accepts that whatever it is, he is there. So next you have इसकी lines क्या क्या हैं? But do not let us quarrel anymore. Okay, यहीं से याद रखना कि this work Andrea Del Sarto is more about how Lucrezia they have conflicts and how he wants to be a faultless painter. Okay, no, my Lucrezia, bear with me for once. Sit down and all shall happen as you wish. Again, the cousins whistle, go my love. All right. So Lucrezia and the painter over here, you can see. Now you have Matthew Arnold. Let's quickly discuss Matthew Arnold. Dover Beach by Matthew Arnold, published in 1867. Okay, the poem begins with the speaker. The speaker is standing by a window. Matthew Arnold. Now we have talked about Tennyson, we have talked about Robert Browning, and I assume that you all know about Matthew Arnold because Matthew Arnold बहुत important poet थे, literary critic थे of the Victorian era. Okay, Matthew Arnold से we can say the modern literary criticism started. A lot of students जो मेरी अभी literary theory की classes ले रहे हैं, हम लोगों ने शुरुआत ही Matthew Arnold से किया है, literary criticism के बारे में, literary theory के बारे में. मैथ्यू आर्नल्ड बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पोएट भी हैं, इनके बारे में बहुत क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं, बी लिटरेरी क्रिटिक और पोएट. यू कैन नॉट, अगर विक्टोरियन एज का कोई आपको पोएट पढ़ना है तो मैथ्यू आर्नल्ड इज डेफिनेटली दैट यू हैव टू रीड. ओके, मेनी क्वेश्चंस आर आस्क्ड इन द एग्जाम. Dover Beach by Matthew Arnold, published in 1867. Every year is important. Please make sure that you're noting it down. The poem begin होती है एक the speaker is standing by the window and वो देख क्या रहा है, वो देख रहा है English Channel at Dover Beach. Okay, एक beach है, उसका नाम Dover Beach है, and he's looking at that, observing the calm sea at night. Look at this Dover Beach. The sea is very calm. Okay, night ho rahi hai and the man is standing. It's a very very calm place. As the tide retreats, as जो waves होती हैं वो जैसे जैसे वापस जाती हैं, the sound of the waves create a sense of melancholy and loss. Okay, तो ये जो जब वापस जा रही है waves, so पोएट को लग रहा है, जो खड़ा है इस मैन को लग रहा है दैट यू नो कि ये एक सैडनेस है इनके वापस जाने में. The speaker reflects on the sea of faith. Again, can you see Matthew Arnold was very concerned about this. Matthew Arnold का बहुत बड़ा रीजन था कि रिलीजन पीछे जा रहा है, मॉरलिटी पीछे जा रही है और साइंटिफिक साइंस मॉडर्निटी आगे आ रही है. ओके, सो दैट इज व्हाट इज सीइंग. द स्पीकर रिफ्लेक्ट्स ऑन द सी ऑफ फेथ, a metaphor for a time when religious belief was stronger and offered comfort to humanity. So कह रहा है कि religion एक टाइम पे ऑफर करता था कंफर्ट एंड ह्यूमैनिटी, मॉरल स्पिरिचुअलिटी, लेकिन वो पीछे जा रहा है. और जैसे जैसे वो पीछे जा रहा है, वो वेव को कंपेयर कर रहा है कि जैसे ये वेव पीछे जा रही है सैड हो रही है, वैसे रिलीजन पीछे जा रहा है वो सैड हो रहा है. ही लैमेंट्स, वो दुख दिखाता है, द डिक्लाइन ऑफ फेथ इन द विक्टोरियन एरा, describing the world as devoid of joy, love, morals, peace, filled with only confusion and strife. Remember, after ये poem के बस 40-50 साल के बाद वर्ल्ड वॉर हुआ था. Remember 1914 में फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर हुआ था. So in the final stanza, the speaker turns to his companion, urging them to be true to one another as the world seemed uncertain and bleak. एंड इसका थोड़ा सा डार्क है, ब्लीक है. कह रहा है कि the only thing, अगर रिलीजन पीछे जा रहा है तो हमें थोड़ा सा we got to be truthful to each other, otherwise everything will collapse, human race will collapse. Okay, so these are the lines क्या क्या है इसकी. The sea is calm tonight, बड़ी famous line है. The tide is full, the moon lies fair upon the streets. These are very famous lines. and end की lines क्या है. Nor certitude, nor peace, nor help for pain, and we are here as on a darkling plain, swept with confused arms of struggle and flight, where ignorant armies clash by night. Very important lines, बहुत बार पूछते एग्जाम में. Important from every aspect that you're reading. All right. Next you have Sohrab and Rustam by Matthew Arnold, 1853 में लिखा गया. The poem is एक epic tragedy है. Sohrab and Rustam is an epic tragedy. All right. Just a second, guys. Yes, yes. Yes, very true. Okay, so poem is an epic tragedy set in the Persia, in the ancient Persia, recounting a legendary battle between Sohrab, a young warrior. Sohrab, a young warrior, hota hai Rustam, and his father Rustam, a renowned Persian hero. So it's about father and son battling with each other. Sohrab ko pata hi nahi hai, unaware that Rustam is his father, and seeks to prove himself by defeating Rustam in single combat. और अकेले वो लड़ने लगता है, सोहराब और रुस्तम, द सन एंड द फादर. रुस्तम also does not recognize सोहराब. रुस्तम को भी नहीं पता कि सोहराब उसका बेटा है. As his son and sees only as a brave opponent, realize करता है ये तो बड़ा brave opponent है. After a very strong, intense, fierce fight, रुस्तम mortally wounds सोहराब. तो father mortally wound करता है, चोट पहुंचाता है तो सोहराब अपने खुद के बेटे को. As सोहराब lies dying, he reveals his identity. सोहराब अपनी आइडेंटिटी बताता है जैसे वो मर रहा होता है, telling Rustam that वो उसका बिछड़ा बेटा है. Rustam is devastated. The father is devastated, realizing that he has killed his own child, and laments the cruelty of fate. और कहता है कि ये मतलब this was destiny and कितनी cruel है हमारा fate. The poem ends with Rustam's deep grief and remorse, symbolizing the tragic consequences of misunderstanding and fate. Okay, a very renowned poem this one is. All right. Okay, so next you have is Sohrab and Rustam by Matthew Arnold, and the lines are, and the first grey of morning filled the east, and the fog rose out of the Oxus stream, but all the Tartar camp along the stream was hushed, and still the men were plugged in sleep. Okay, Sohrab and Rustam का ये grim starting है. End में क्या होता है, and tranquil from whose floor the new bathed stars emerge and shine upon the aerial sea. All right, so मतलब nature वैसे ही चल रहा है. Such a huge thing happened. A father unknowingly killed his son. All right, then you're moving ahead to the next one, and that is Theis by Matthew Arnold. The poem is an elegy written. Arnold ने Theis लिखी थी Arthur Hugh Clow के लिए. Yes, that is right. और Lycidas लिखी थी Milton ने Edward King के लिए. Okay, there was some confusion there, so just clearing it out. एडवर्ड किंग के लिए लिखी थी मिल्टन ने लिसिडस, टेनिसन ने लिखी थी आर्थर हेनरी हालम के लिए, आर्थर क्लो के लिए लिखा गया था दिस वाज थीसिस, वो मैथ्यू आर्नल्ड ने लिखा था, एंड एडोनाइस लिखा गया था एलिजी फॉर कीट्स, ओके, शेली ने लिखा था एडोनाइस. So the poem is an elegy written in memory of Arnold's very close friend Arthur Hugh Clow, who died in 1861. Thesis एक elegy है. Again draws inspiration from the pastoral tradition. एक pastoral elegy है जहाँ पे rural, rustic, shepherd, shepherdess की simple life के बारे में बात होती है. Okay, so Arnold recalls the Oxford countryside. Arnold बात करता है Oxford countryside की, where Clow spent time together, using it as a symbol of their friendship and the idealized past. The poem express क्या करता है? Arnold's deep grief over the loss of Clow. Okay, इसका दोस्त है. He's expressing deep grief combined with a sense of nostalgia, thinking about him, thinking the past memories for youth and inspiration. Throughout the poem, Arnold reflect करता है on the passage of time कि कैसे time जाता है, the transience of life, कि life कैसे change होती है, and the struggle to remain steadfast and pursue creative challenges. The poem ends with a very hopeful note. This is एक hopeful note देती है, yet bittersweet vision of distant light symbolizing both memory and the enduring spirit of Clow. So remember in Memorium में भी hope था कि वो accept कर लेता है death. Similarly Thesis में भी Henry Arthur Clow के लिए जो Matthew Arnold लिखता है, that was also acceptance of death. Okay, then you have the lines, how change is here, each spot man makes of fills. In the two hinkies nothing keeps the same. यहाँ से शुरू हो रही है Thesis, and line क्या है end में, which as it measured then my boyish thought has led me up to manhood no tomorrow, and left me by the lonely Hinksy stream, the signal seen were now a lasting beam. Okay, so that it is, he's lamenting that how he kind of left his Matthew Arnold all alone in this world. Next you have yes. So now we are going ahead to the very last poem, that is the Blessed Damozel by Dante Gabriel Rossetti, 1850 में लिखा गया है. The poem is about a young woman, Damozel, who ascended to heaven but longs to be reunited with her lover left on earth. Okay, so ये कहाँ जाती है? Earth पे चली जाती है, ये heaven पे चली जाती है, and to be reunited with her lover left on earth, she gazes down from the gold bar of heaven. Okay, so this is, she's looking at the gold bar of heaven, yearning to be with him and dreaming of a future. The damosel envisions the two of them together in heaven. So the damosel is very much deep in love with his lover and would dream that they're together in heaven. Meanwhile, the lover on earth feels her absence deeply. Despite her hope and desire, a sense of separation is there, and the poem ends with the damosel weeping. Okay, they are not reunited again. तो इसके lines क्या हैं guys? Blessed damosel के ये वाले lines आ चुकी हैं. She had 3 lilies in her hand and the stars in her hair were 7. ये दोनों लाइंस आ चुकी हैं, और इसमें यहाँ पे ब्लैंक था, 3 और 7 में ब्लैंक था, और पूछा गया था कि यहाँ पे कौन से, तो इसमें ऑप्शंस में आपको 3, 7, 7, 3 या 3, 8 इस तरह के ऑप्शंस दिए गए थे, यू हैव टू राइट इट डाउन. ओके, सो इट स्टार्ट्स विद the blessed damosel leaned out from the gold bar of heaven, her eyes were deeper than the depth of water still at even, and it ends with the lines, had he yet on earth his wish, then I must not be here but there. Okay, so with this, all right, so with this guys, we are coming to an end of the Victorian poetry. I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. It is important to learn as well as enjoy as well as understand. Okay, Victorian poetry अलग तरीके की poetry थी. We can see के जो Christian elements थे, whatever the stories were, it was Christianity was being questioned, the faith of God on God was dwindling. Why? Because science was overpowering at that time. Charles Darwin को original species आ गया था 1859. But poets, we can see कि poets try क्या कर रहे हैं. Poets try कर रहे थे कि no matter science कितना भी आ जाए, pervade कर ले, लेकिन उनका एक idea था that reinstate your belief in God, reinstate your belief in Christianity, because religion is the crux of everything. Okay, so this is exactly what Victorian poetry was talking about. I hope everybody has understood. Anyone has any questions, please let me know in the comments section. I'll be happy to answer. Again, I'm telling guys कि हम लोग जो students UGC NET December 2024 के लिए plan कर रहे हैं, prepare कर रहे हैं, go ahead, join the course only for 5,999. You can use my code AR Live. You will get a good discount. And paper 1 as well as paper 2 you will be taught. तो आपको कहीं नहीं जाना होगा, एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म में आपको पेपर 2 की भी पढ़ाई हो जाएगी, पेपर 1 की भी पढ़ाई हो जाएगी. So this is how we will be going ahead. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know in the comment section. Okay, I'll just wait. And guys, please do subscribe to the channel ताकि कल को कोई भी मैं वीडियोस डालूँ, रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर्स डालूँ या लाइव वीडियोस आए या वट एवर मेरे शॉर्ट्स आए, आपको सब कुछ पता चल जाए. बिकॉज यू नो it's important, once you subscribe to the channel, तो आपको notifications आते रहते हैं. All right, so guys, please let me know in the comment section if anyone has any questions, and then we'll proceed ahead. Okay then, everyone, thank you so much. I will see you guys tomorrow. A very happy Diwali in advance, and I'll see you all tomorrow again. Take care, everyone.